Right. I'm gonna be honest, I was a lot more annoyed with the last 30, 20 minutes of the game than I really needed to be. Something about how it went, I don't know. And like the Saudi players were falling really easily. And the ref was calling things unnecessarily. Like, it's fine for a Saudi player to take out Ajimang from his legs whilst he's jumping for a ball. But if the goalkeeper doesn't take a goal kick perfectly, we got to stop the whole game and redo that. And there is reason to retake goal kicks if they're taken too quickly or whatever. Like, I get that. I'm probably just like, criticizing unnecessarily. I think when I'm actually a fan involved in the match, like, I guess not like directly involved, obviously, but like watching the match and I actually care about it, that tends to play with emotions more. So I probably wouldn't have been so upset if this wasn't my team. But it is, and we did win. And so I am relatively happy with that. I still was not thrilled with the performance. It seems like this US MLS mainly team has a lot in common with the first team in that they are utterly useless against the low block. Saudi Arabia, for the most part, held us out. There were not too many times, really, that we even had chances from open play. And whenever we got some sort of semblance of a chance, the last pass wouldn't be right, or a Saudi player would get in the way just in time. So I think that also added to the annoyance. There's always frustration when you're going up against a low block, and I respect it. I actually really like it when teams go for low blocks because I think it's stupid to say they should not do that if that's an effective strategy and if it's proven to work. The thing I like to bring up, Burnley under Sean Dyche was legit one of my favorite Premier League teams ever. I think that it's kind of silly to say, no, we gotta play in this picturesque, perfect way. So if a style of play gets you the result, I don't care how deadbeat it is. Just like do whatever you need to do to get the win, because ultimately that's what football's for. Is like it's a result based game. If it wins you the game, do it. So I don't think like I'm gonna say the side players didn't want to play football. Utterly shameful play there because it's not, but it is frustrating to go against a low block when it's your team again. It's really fun when you're in the low block, not so much fun when you're going up against it, and it's something that specifically frustrates you as time goes on, and seeing you have all the ball and none of the opportunities. Which the side players got a few counter-attacking opportunities. Once again, Freese was not um, challenged that much. He came out of his box. Well, like he came out and claimed balls a few times, and that was good. That's important to do. But beyond that, he didn't have to do too much in the game. So once again, he wasn't tested massively, and I really do want to see what Freese is made of. And I don't know, because on the one hand, it's kind of nice if your goalkeeper doesn't have to do much in a game, but since it is a new goalkeeper, I kind of want to see more what he's made of and what he's capable of. And so maybe against Haiti, now that we're already in the quarterfinals, though first place isn't guaranteed just yet, I imagine with the 5-0 win over Trinidad and Tobago, it'd be surprising if we don't get first now, since we got a pretty big goal difference advantage over everyone else. But against Haiti, then maybe we can play a bit of a secondary squad or third squad, since this is already our second squad in a game that doesn't matter too much, and we can see a bit more of Matt Freese and what he's capable of. Although he did face more shots in the friendlies. But I can't complain too much when our goalkeeper hasn't had to do much work. And that is something worth saying. Whilst we didn't look threatening from open play too often, we also never really looked like we were going to concede too much. For the most part, this game kind of had 0-0 written all over it, except the U.S. did get a goal off a set piece, which is controversial to some degree. I saw Saudis complaining about the offsides goal. It was tight. In fact, it wasn't just us. I saw a lot of people complaining about it, basically non-Americans. And I don't know. I think like it's hard to completely tell. I don't mind it being onside. Obviously, I don't mind. I'm American, but I don't want to hear Saudis complaining about the referee because let me tell you, I got some gripes with the referee in this one, on my completely unbiased opinion. And once again, football fans are nothing if not biased. So I am fully expecting my criticism to be unjust and unfair because that's what football fans do. We are absolutely biased in every way. So I was annoyed. I think that the Saudi players were falling really easily, except for the ones with Arfston. Arfston was out for blood. He was just taking about whenever he had the chance, which was kind of funny to see. Not gonna lie. But for the most part, it felt like Saudi players were going down really easily, and that was annoying. And the ref kept calling it, and yet when USA players would fall down, he wouldn't. Again, this is completely biased. I'm sure the ref's fine. I'm just still, amped up from the game. I only just watched it. Uh, so I was annoyed about some of that stuff, but I also think that I'm maybe blowing this out of proportion, and it wasn't really too much. I think that refs in general face more criticism than they need to because they're an easy scapegoat when your team doesn't do well. The reality is we're still struggling to break low blocks. And what I don't understand from Pochettino is why he wouldn't go for Aronson and Wright. Like, I don't understand what it is with Pochettino and championship players, but we got two of the better, goal scorers in the championship in Haji Wright and Josh Sargent. Sargent wasn't even called up, and Agyemang's starting ahead of Wright. And I do like Agyemang. I just like Wright more. I don't understand why we wouldn't go for one of the championship's best goal scorers because the championship is of a very high standard of football now. So being a good goal scorer in the championship is a pretty big achievement. Sure, it's not the Premier League, but still, it is a very high quality, standard of football. It's a second tier that is better than just about any first tier in the world. There's very few first tiers that are better than the championship. So I don't understand the hesitancy to play Aronson and Wright, for instance, because also when we're playing a low block, Aronson and Wright both in the game against Trinidad and Tobago took on defenders, beat them on their own, created a goal scoring opportunity, got into the box and scored. And we could have really used something like that against the Saudi low block. We also could have used McGlynn more. Like, I didn't understand McGlynn getting subbed off because well, it's not as good in his passes this game as against Trinidad and Tobago. He still has that quality of getting balls into the box and doing that well that I think the rest of the team doesn't quite have that same skill. Like, he's definitely the best at it of our Gold Cup squad. So I didn't completely understand subbing him off, but immediately after we subbed him off, Chris Richards scored. And Chris Richards did have a very good game again. I was happy with Chris Richards and how he played. I'm really excited to get to see more of Richards because it feels like we've kind of been robbed of opportunities to see him play more because he's had his injury woes. So it is really nice to see Chris Richards get to play, and I hope that he can, have another nice season free of all the injury woes that have plagued him so far. And I mean, he is our best center back. I don't think there's much debate about that. He's had a really good year for Crystal Palace, and he did well in the game today and scored the goal. But I think it was still his defensive capabilities overall that I was the happiest with. He made a few really good interceptions and blocks when we needed him to. So I am really happy to see Chris Richards play, and hopefully he can be good for us come the World Cup. So there's a summary. We're through to the knockout stage. We're still not playing amazingly great football. I assume we'll get past Haiti, and in that case, we're probably going to play Costa Rica in the quarterfinals. Costa Rica hasn't been looking that good, so I think there's a pretty good chance we make it to the semifinals. The issue is then we got to play Canada, Panama, Mexico. And that's going to be more challenging, especially for a second squad. But again, for right now, at least, I don't need to worry about that. I can just be happy that we've won 2 games on the bounce, so that's good.